So before we start the story, I'm just going to give you a brief introduction about who this gentleman was. So the name of the author is Arthur Conan Doyle. Arthur Conan Doyle was born on 22nd of May 1859, and he was born in England. He was a British writer, and surprisingly, he was a certified medical doctor also. And Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, he's famous for many short stories apart from what he's famous for majorly called Sherlock Holmes. And he wrote more than 60 series of stories based on Sherlock Holmes as a character. And he died on 6th of July in 1930. He died of a heart attack. So, the character Sherlock Holmes is an imaginative character created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and based on this character, ended up writing more than 60 stories. What we are doing today is not a series of Sherlock Holmes, so don't get confused. What we are doing today is another story that he wrote, named The Beetle Hunter, and we are doing a very small portion of that story. Okay, so we have nothing to do with Sherlock Holmes in this. Don't get confused. Right. So before I start, I'm just going to tell you what is going on in the story. We are reading about a character called Dr. Hamilton in this story. And this is what happened to Dr. Hamilton. Dr. Hamilton is a certified doctor. He's a doctor by degree, and but he's not interested in doing a mundane job of a doctor. He's more interested towards the zoology part. Zoology means study of animals, so he was always interested in studying animals, particularly insects, and most importantly and surprisingly, he was interested in studying beetles, and he had written articles on beetles also. So it was very funny the first time when I heard about what usually in, I think it's just a jargon that in Ladakh people use. Beetle is a beautiful small insect which is red and black in color, and it has black spots on its red body. So I remember some school child in the school referred to that beetle as pass fail, something like that. I don't know why was that. So this is how the story starts. Dr. Hamilton says he's narrating the story. He says, I had just become a medical man, but I had not started my practice yet. That means he just finished his degree as a certified medical doctor, but he had not started working as a doctor. And my small resources were dwindling away, and every week it became more and more necessary that I should find something to do. With the working class people like us, you must have seen your parents, your siblings, your cousins doing so, is that you work for 30 days a month, and then you receive a paycheck or a salary, and then you make a budget where you take out the money for expenditures, and there's a certain amount of money that you keep as savings. You save that money, and then gradually that small saving ends up in a certain considerable amount at one point in time. This is how people save money. But if you are not working, then you have to, let's say for example, suddenly you stop working. So what do? You have to rely on the money that you have saved, and the money which is saved usually does not last very long. It can last for a couple of months. um, so this is how what Dr. Hamilton is also going through. You can refer it to the situation that we have landed up in right now. Unfortunately, due to pandemic, there are many people who have lost their jobs, and they're relying on the resources, and they are concerned also because resources usually deplete, they finish. So he's also talking about Dr. Hamilton, that how his saving money is dwindling. That means he's in a very it's shifting here and there. He's in a very difficult situation. Dwindling usually means something which is about to collapse. So that means something which is about to finish. And every week he can see that the money is going less and less. And he really thinks that he needs to start working before he can get some money for his survival. Yet um, very unwilling to go into general practice, for my tastes were all in the direction of science and especially zoology. So he's trying to say, although I knew that I had no money, I can, there may be a time when I have no money because I'm not working. But at the same time, I was not ready to compromise and start working as a doctor like everyone does. I wanted to do something different apart from working as a normal doctor. And as he says, that his interest was in zoology, in the study of animals, and he wanted to work in a different kind of environment. You know, everyone has a different uh, um, preference. There are some people who want to become engineers, but there are some people who say, no, I don't want to become an engineer only. Maybe I want to become an aeronautical engineer. Maybe I want to become a genetic engineer. You know, different tastes, preferences. So he's also someone like that, Dr. Hamilton. He wants to do something different, and towards which I always had a strong leaning. And he always knew that he would love to work as a doctor, but in the field of animals, interests, different interests. So I had almost given up the fight and resigned myself to become a medical drudge for life. And that means that he tried very hard to look for jobs where he can excel, or where he can show that he has a good interest in animals also. But then he was not able to get a job, and he almost thought that, let me just forget about it and start working as a doctor, in a very drudge means someone who has a very mundane job, a very 9 to 5 job, someone who is doing the same thing every single day. There is someone who doesn't feel some exciting to do the same job every single day. Very boring kind of work. When the turning point of my struggles came into a very extraordinary way, when something really unexpected happened in his life, and he could never expect that something like that can also happen and change his life. So what happened?